Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 5.
A Fargo man is now behind bars after police say he started multiple fires in a downtown apartment complex over the weekend. 28-year-old Saha Khadka has been charged with felony endangering by fire after crews were called to the 600 block of First Avenue North twice on Saturday and once again last night. Valley News Team's crime and safety reporter Bailey Hurley talked with a woman who says this isn't the first time Khadka has caused trouble in the building.
Louisa Martin was ready for a night of food and football at her friend's apartment Sunday night. But she says the smell of burning paper and the screech of fire alarms sent her and her friends out the door, only to then see the small fire in the fourth-floor hallway.
Had the fire department come any later, and it might have been worse.
Martin says her friends grabbed an extinguisher and tried to put the fire out before evacuating outside, where she says they were later questioned by police.
That definitely got my anxiety pretty high to have a real fire there.
Martin says although fire crews were only called to the complex 3 times this weekend, there are actually 16 different small burn sites. And she says when she learned it was Saha Khadka police suspected, she wasn't surprised.
He has history of causing chaos in the building.
Martin says she's had several encounters with Khadka, saying it seems he's always up to something at the complex.
I had my suspicions that he was the one involved.
Martin adds she's just glad it's finally over and that everyone inside is safe and unharmed. In downtown Fargo, Bailey Hurley, Valley News Live.
Khadka is set to be seen by a judge tomorrow morning. Fargo crews say 40th Avenue South by the I-29 underpass in Fargo is back open after a truck driver ran into the underpass. Officials say it happened mid-afternoon when the driver mistakenly left the box up and struck the underpass along 40th Avenue South. City crews cleaned up the mess after the back end of a heavy-duty city truck was knocked off. Lee Anderson with Fargo Public Works says it has only happened a couple of times during his time with the city. He says the driver was not hurt and feels badly about what happened. Not sure why it still feels okay out there. It's certainly cooler, but maybe the sunshine and the light wind are helping? Let's find out and check out this evening's forecast with Hutch and your No Wait weather planner. Hutch?
Well, after a pretty cold winter, I think all of our standards have been adjusted. Take a look at these temperature changes from 24 hours ago. Many of us are at least 20 degrees colder here in the valley, so we've lost a little bit of heat, you could say. Now, the air mass that's moving over us is not Arctic. Arctic air mass forms north of the Arctic Circle. We have a good old-fashioned Canadian polar air mass that is sliding down into North Dakota tonight. That means we're going to be chilly, but not the bone-chilling cold air masses like we saw before that carried us into the 20s below zero. We have clearing skies. It's going to be a little on the cool side. Your planner for Fargo-Moorhead shows temperatures dipping into the single digits by late tonight, and Grand Forks will be near zero by bedtime tonight. Decreasing clouds, and it does look like a pretty Tuesday with a lack of heat. I'll have details on that here in just a few minutes. Plus, we'll look ahead at what you can expect the rest of the work week.
Good. Thanks so much, Hutch. A Minnesota officer who was shot in the head is now out of intensive care. 32-year-old officer Eric Matson had been recovering at Twin Cities Hospital with serious injuries, but he's now at an acute care facility, and that is a big improvement. Matson was shot January 6th in Waseca, Minnesota, while responding to a call of a suspicious person. That suspect is charged with multiple counts, including first-degree attempted murder. He's expected in court tomorrow. The closing arguments in the Senate impeachment trial have wrapped up nearly a month and a half after the House voted to impeach President Donald Trump on charges of abuse of power and obstruction of Congress. Skylar Henry is on Capitol Hill, where the Senate has started deliberations.
A senator from New Mexico.
The spotlight is now on the senators as they explain how they intend to vote in the impeachment trial of President Trump.
President Donald Trump has proven to be unfit for the office he occupies.
What the House is asking the Senate to do is constitutionally flawed.
White House defense lawyers blasted the charges against President Trump as partisan as they made their closing arguments for acquittal.
This entire campaign of impeachment that started from the very first day that the president was inaugurated was a partisan one.
House managers made a final plea for senators to remove the president from office.
We must say enough. He has betrayed our national security, and he will do so again. He has compromised our elections, and he will do so again.
The GOP-controlled Senate is expected to take a final vote Wednesday to acquit President Trump on both articles. In a Fox News interview that aired before the Super Bowl Sunday, President Trump cast doubt on being able to work with congressional Democrats in the future.
Well, I'd like to, but it's pretty hard when you think about it. I'm not sure that they can do it, to be honest.
Some Senate Democrats say they want the president to move past the moment to get back to work on the issues.
I think it would be a tragic mistake for him to conclude he cannot work with us. I think we should encourage our president to rise to this challenge.
President Trump called the proceedings a, quote, totally partisan impeachment hoax on Twitter Monday. Skyler Henry, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
President Trump will make his State of the Union address Tuesday night on Capitol Hill. Some Senate Republicans told CBS News they believe the president should avoid the subject of impeachment. 2 people are dead and a third is injured after a shooting at Texas A&M University Commerce campus. University police tweeted Monday afternoon that there were 3 gunshot victims at a dorm on campus. No details have been released about the victims or the motive behind the shooting. Meanwhile, in Southern California, 1 person is killed, 5 others injured in a shooting on board a Greyhound bus. Officials say the bus was heading north on a highway from L.A. to San Francisco when the gunman opened fire. Authorities later placed the gunman in custody. The CDC has provided an update on its investigation into the coronavirus outbreak. The agency says it has so far tested 260 people from 36 states. 167 have been negative and 11 positive. The rest are pending. Over the weekend, health officials confirmed 4 additional cases in the U.S., 3 in California and 1 in Massachusetts. All but 1 had recently traveled to Wuhan, China, which is considered to be the epicenter of the outbreak. CDC officials say they still expect the number of confirmed cases in the country to increase. There's been some confusion over what information schools can provide for the 2020 census regarding their students. But now the Census Bureau says universities are able to furnish student data if they strip away anything that could identify the student. This week, the Census Bureau will start its process of counting students living in college-run housing. Hornbacher's customers made a record donation to a Fargo food bank. Through its Feed Hope campaign back in December, the grocery chain asked shoppers in the FM area before they checked out if they would like to donate to the Great Plains Food Bank. The shoppers were generous this season, giving $81,000. That's nearly $25,000 more than the previous year. It is the largest amount donated in the campaign's 9-year history.
It really is about the in-store team really getting engaged with the community and sharing the story of the Great Plains Food Bank and what they do for our community.
The Osgood Hornbacher's location was the store that collected the most donations. The funds will provide nearly 500,000 meals to fight hunger across North Dakota and western Minnesota. Right-wing talk show host Rush Limbaugh says he has advanced lung cancer. Limbaugh made the announcement during his show today, saying he will take some time off to seek treatment. Limbaugh says 2 medical institutions have confirmed the diagnosis. The 69-year-old radio host says he has a great team of doctors assembled and will figure out in the coming days his course of treatment. An iconic rock group will be saying "Welcome to the Prairie" instead of "Welcome to the Jungle" when they take on the Fargo Dome this summer. The show is set for Sunday, August 23rd. Tickets go on sale Friday, February 7th at noon. For more information, you can download the VNL app in the App Store for free and click on this story.